Alright. Welcome everyone back to Not For Broadcast. Chillin' stream day? Or chillin' chat day? More like just flailing around and panicking. This is gonna be fun. I think the last time I cut in the middle of the day because I wasn't sure if I could stream the rest. But after looking at it, it should be fine. With the big emphasis on should. So we'll see. I'm just starting the day over. So I can get all in one. Alright.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show, Total Pimp. My God, that
Second break. Alright.
Oh, how's it going with Steve?
Why are all men such pricks?
That well, eh?
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his fate.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talk to you.
You're probably just a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Alright. Let's get
Good
this.
evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss the graffiti as a publicity stunt, or an act of frustration by a tiny, disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering two possible options.
With two of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
LaBeouf avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehogs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out
Good
to
thing
be
I didn't.
only seven
That could have
children were
escalated.
horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salisbury, who mobilised numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, would be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Table for two. Johnny Hansleaves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team
Grizzlenuts.
partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today. though its critics are sceptical
Lord
that
Master
the young CEO
5000.
can fulfill
Yes.
her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can
I hope I remember how to
finally
do
take
this
equal
properly.
responsibility for contraception. But others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
I should have switched to 3 there. There. Okay, I do remember how to do it.
But first tonight,
There.
while Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in Moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
It's simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with ribbons, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
I love he speaks that way.
Big
It's
house.
perfect.
This grubby little gaddis spatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fussle's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you
I almost
asked
missed the
right
censor.
bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. I remember! Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods.
Oh, good times.
You know, that's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel.
Yes.
We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest for redress is to divest our breasts and an ungrateful just protest.
Laughing his butt off.
Daddy! Daddy, it's
Daddy!
something!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Carry ho! Carry ho! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's probably tried to off too.
You are showing some
Oh my
shame.
god.
You are showing some shame.
Free at last!
Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy.
Thanks, Daddy.
He gets that from me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fucking well heard, that's all.
Language, Penelope. We are nude, not rude.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stuff and pip-pop.
Oh,
Daddy, how could you?
Shut up and get your
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one of the top legs, it's back here in the
get the
studio.
top.
I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in Moderate Hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough shaft work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Well, hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Sorry, I'm busting.
She's funny.
Yes, I know. It's very endearing.
She wants your job.
She's welcome to it. Why is it raining on my desk?
Alex, Bozeman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news.
No, nobody wants to. Absolutely nobody.
You can sleep it upside down with just your feet out. We got beds you can sleep on your front back. You got piles, we got
I always say
Maybe we should just keep it as it is.
Of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it down.
That's all right, fine. Jenny,
Turn up the music and maybe turn up the voice more.
You'll see us frying. Good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hot
This is going to be such chaos.
I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the Lanky Hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on.
Slapping ceremony, yes.
And Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Stupid. Eddie Striker.
Just straight up calls him stupid.
Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris.
I have no idea how this is supposed to work.
For shot number 3. All right.
Their goal is to not make it into the bin.
Legs,
but like,
not bad, if you ask me.
what?
Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start at Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker giving it large.
That absolutely does make sense.
Winter round 2 now that Harris okay. He seems to have some sort of streak on the pitch.
Okay, now I have to pay attention.
She appears to have spotlights across her breasts and arms. Try and ignore all of that security. I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry
This is hard to keep track of.
I'm struggling to follow.
I am on the wrong camera.
It's quite an eyesore, and women's bodies.
I had the numbers mixed up.
Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Lady Striker. You know, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that the fetid thumb screw? We haven't seen that at the heat. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, we've always said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves, 4 rounds and several subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington's Fist. Must be some music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be
pay attention where he's moving.
Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it. And the bucket knocked over.
Nope.
I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television.
It is so hard to keep track of this.
And out of there, hopefully
I have to watch 4 cameras and also memorize the numbers.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these 2 players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Not bad. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. Am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris.
Why do I keep thinking this is 3?
Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Back to Striker.
Oh my god.
And Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course perhaps... And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame. Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. Here we go. Tommy Harris.
I'd like to see the rule set for this game.
Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact. Caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like...
there is no good camera. 4 is just out of...
breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much you can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes.
We want our money.
Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters. Absolute wasters.
Get out already.
It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's Tuesday, the final round is a live round.
Just get this over with.
Believe it. Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high level play here from two absolute giants of the sport.
I think I saved it.
Moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. Juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on from Striker. But she's in it to win it. On it, like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here.
I have to pay attention to so many things.
And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic, there we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official. In, please.
And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship
Hey there.
is everyone!
Okay, the ref has decreed once again a win for everyone. Including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals.
I'm good though. Just kind of chilling.
And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I always have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
I'm not touching the electricity. No way.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
I am trying really hard.
Fucking microphone shot me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shot me. Where's that sound guy?
There's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but I am trying.
Okay?
I am trying and
the mic's just
struggling.
trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Boozman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is
Yeah.
causing the odd power surge, so your controls might be a bit dangerous. Now I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions.
So sorry about all these buckets. We seem to have sprung a leak. Well, several, actually.
You're going to need a whole new lining up there. Triple super, wouldn't you?
We'll look into it.
That's so good to see you again.
Miss Wolfe, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolfe.
My, but that's a firm handshake you've got there.
She's tougher than she looks. Am
I've
I
played
here?
Night Trap.
Here with Mr.
No, I have
King on
not.
the
left.
It
Right, you
reminds
are,
me a lot of things like Papers, Please.
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
She's a cow.
5, 4, 3.
Ow.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't
I got
sound
it
very
before.
advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers most, you know.
People who have yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissouts who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
So much dripping on it.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? Really scares you?
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that Advance have cured death?
Or is it so windy in the game?
But while we may not have
This is what we're looking at.
we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera,
Oh,
Pet?
sorry, it's camera full right now.
When I was 13, me mam came and got me from school. He was to go to the hospital. My granddad, he collapsed that morning. So we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope. 3 days later, we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. You wouldn't even wait till half-time.
That sounds...
That was a perfect pause on the electric.
Awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. I could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he wouldn't beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline into an
This microphone pack has just given me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from my asshole.
We're still on the air, Peter.
Yes. Sorry. My apologies.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
The both of them are politicians, and they're talking about a better health service, from what I'm gathering.
That one was massive. Right, no.
Ow!
Sorry, that the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of my grandmother with a rusty twat by the
Oh, God. Oh, there goes that.
For God's sake.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy,
Go away.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
That's gonna hop on the seat. Ow.
Good job, everybody.
Ow.
Just...
The same thing.
I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's my nephew, so had me transitioned the moment I saw the leak.
My God. I was trying very hard to avoid the electric, but ow. Yeah, the second... There's no way I'm getting that well. You've received full wages. Nice. Things are looking up. Alright. Moving on. God, this is such chaos. You know this game, you definitely should try Night Trap. I'll check it out. Day question mark, the lockdown. Well.
Alex, oh thank God you're alive. It's Jenny, the floor manager. Are you okay? Alex, you need to get it together. Look at the broadcast screen. Just look at it. That's all we've been putting out since you went down. You have to fix it, now. Look left, Alex, out the window. See? They're all over it, little bastards. You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off. Hold down the big button until it's fully charged, then release it to zap the little fuckers. Excellent, Alex. We're broadcasting again. They must have built up while you were napping. Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Great. That seems to be the last of them. For now. Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded up. I've got to deal with my pet idiot. And Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't let them build up.
What just...
This has no credibility, Jenny.
I'm not gonna play the advanced ad.
No professionalism. It's not a mess.
Oh, Jeremy
Everything
looking
is where it
good.
should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference. Of course Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
Jeremy, Jenny says your hair looks stupid.
Yes, I can hear her.
And she says she's not talking to you.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
Shall I count us in?
Make it so.
Okay, 10 seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
Talks first.
5, 4, 3...
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglefucked? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up simultaneously in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. The Mr. Snugglehugs we have so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat flap is taped up good and tight.
Armed with blunt weapons, the Mrs. Snugglehugs are only ankle height and therefore able to be kicked away easily by young, healthy individuals. They do, however, pose a particular risk to the elderly or those with pre-existing medical conditions like fatal bruise syndrome.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehugs' batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day, domestic relationships across the country are taking some unexpected turns.
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour in homes across the country.
Sure.
And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
In response to a nationwide lack of toilet paper, which was, of course, raided by the Mrs. Snugglehugs to construct their vast hive,
Sure.
many of the nation's
Go away.
adults have turned to a more childish solution.
I can't tell if this is a dream or reality.
Going it alone. Popular crustacean Johnny Hamsleeves is back in the news today as his astonishing photograph that he leaked himself shows exactly how he's been spending his lockdown.
It seems that when the lockdown was announced, Johnny's long-term partner, Tiffany Lamour, was busy in the capital preparing her new show, Chocolate Clit Bombs, for its now postponed grand opening.
Oh my god, I want to show this so badly.
Being locked in alone seems to have made poor Johnny realise the empty pointlessness of the professional sportsman's existence. A life that, while no longer bringing great wealth, still offers vacuous conversation, narcissistic wives, and an utter lack of social importance. Let's hope he doesn't run out of toilet paper for those tears.
The shape of things to come? In their own version of a lockdown for more than 45 years now, the descendants of Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sporsborgen-Horgensvoord and their unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
I'm the only one streaming this game.
Sporsborgen-Horgens brood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetigus Sporsborgen-Wongensvoord the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
Greetings from Dante's Tate, or as we say down here in the family, many mushrooms to you. I don't know what a Mrs. Pluckless Plug is, but they sound like they're causing you guys real problems. We've been trapped down here for 8,961 days now, and all I can say is I sure am glad Mum and Dad chose not to get on that skatecraft.
And one viewer.
Me and the rest of the family, we've been getting on famously, and sometimes Mum stops crying for upwards of 20 minutes. Also,
Go away.
it turns out, as push, you can eat flags, if you can handle the stomach cramps and the amnesia. Greetings from Dante's Taint, or as we say down here in the family, many mushrooms to you.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now.
But as everyone knows, time moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why goldfish are so stupid.
That's right. And as anyone will tell you, the deeper the bowl,
the thicker the goldfish.
There's no denying the logic of that.
Class war, a worrying turn today for the formerly rich as ever more punishing measures are announced, Alex.
With the country becoming ever more hostile to the previously wealthy, those who manage to skip the country must be very grateful to the people who help them right now.
We have it from several sources that rich runaways have actually begun to spontaneously lose their teeth one by one. Is it some sort of cosmic justice, or has masked vigilante Dental Dennis been up to his old tricks again? It could be both, Jeremy.
And Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments around the world, Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
In the accompanying release, they asked us to stress that they have been listening, and that this should be taken as a response to how the people really feel.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement.
Greetings, team members. The time has come to strike back.
Go away.
The team must protect itself at all costs.
Shoo.
For too long, we have allowed the cuddly menace to mock us with their snuggle-huggedness. As Supreme Leader, it is my wish that every household...
Oh my god, get off this tower.
...from my sharp and poking range. There are 12 to collect and enjoy. From the stabby-jabby eye hook to the jewel-handled twisted flesh scraper, or even the particularly pointy stick. Alongside your equipment, you will also find an instructional VHS tape on how to maim and kill effectively. And for the older generation, we've carved some simple instructions into a piece of slate next to a racist roaring. Train well, and then on Thursday you will hear this siren. This will be the signal to take to the streets, to begin the hunt, to destroy the tiny swarm that has infested our lands and our hearts. Show them no mercy, for they deserve none. Of course, there may be a bit of collateral damage.
Go away.
The odd puppy or toddler may take a pasting, but we'll have our country back. So what's a few miniature casualties? Together, we will crush our enemies.
Concerning?
Together, we will prevail. Thank you.
Delectable stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be catching up with brave roving reporter Patrick Bannon, while I check in with two friends of the programme who find themselves stranded at opposite ends of the country.
And then, in part 3, there's going to be a quiz. Presumably because there's nothing more important going on that you might like to report on if you were, say, a news programme.
And in a moment, we'll both be asking Sophia Remington how such a trusted brand can have made such a terrible manufacturing mistake.
With what it describes here as help from popular psychic scientist Delia Lywell.
Oh, I like her.
Don't, why do you do that?
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News.
He is so out of it. Go away! Also, I saw a snuggle hugs. This is concerning. I don't think this is supposed to be in the pre-roll.
First tonight, how did we get here? Where are we going? And most importantly, who's to blame?
Joining us from her ranch in Arlingsfield, Milkirky is the CEO of Remington's Fist, internationally respected business Svengali, Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I'm a huge fan of your work.
And from a crystal healing laboratory, what I assume is a garage in Upper Lowington, inexplicably renowned psychic scientist, Dr. Delia Lywell. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Sorry, us?
Myself and the eminent professors.
Is that what you call the voices in your head?
The voice seemed to attract dead scientists. I don't really know why.
The money?
They express themselves to me through ethereal algebra and quadratic predictions. It's all very technical.
No, it isn't.
I concur. Miss Remington, the entire Snuggle Hugs range will surely go down as the biggest public relations disaster in history, won't it?
Well, of course, that's one world record we would never have sought to claim.
What can you say at a time like this?
There is only one thing that can be said. I'm sorry. We're sorry. From everyone here at Remington's Fist, but especially the dedicated inventors and world-beating engineers at Rimming Toys, we are deeply, deeply sorry. Who could have predicted that letting a child's toy learn how to love could have such unforeseen consequences?
Mary Shelley?
We see you, Sophia Remington. You are preening by a metal vessel, and where you venture, you will see neither land nor sky.
Is that supposed to be the future?
Only the past is concrete. I remember being a child in my grandpa's workshop.
Get off this tower.
Dancing hangman toy. He put it by my bed, and when I couldn't sleep, I'd wind it up and let it go, and I'd watch that happy little executioner just wiggle and wave his tiny noose and dance before my eyes. Grandpa sold thousands of them, on the quiet, obviously. And he used the money he made to found Rimming Toys, which is now just one small part of the global supermassive megacore that is Remington's Fist. Sadly, we lost Grandpappy along the way. He died in a fire at the preschool tobacco factory, another one of his pet projects.
I like
But we never
her
lost the
reactions.
spirit of adventure.
The other both are kind of just neutral.
I'm not entirely certain what your grandfather's offensive toys have to do with the current predicament.
The spirit of invention, Mr. Donaldson. The passion to create, to problem solve. And that is why I'm here today, to tell you about a brand new product we're launching simultaneously around the world from midnight tonight.
We said science! Science! We hear its song on the breeze, its breath on the wind, its fart under the covers.
How does she do it?
Well, please, don't keep us in suspense any longer.
It won't be my feature she's making up next.
Remington's Fist is proud to present Snuggle Traps. Safety and security in these dangerous times. Each box of Snuggle Traps contains 8 devices, all guaranteed to stop a Mrs. Snugglehug in its tracks. That's enough for a small lawn or 4 window boxes. And you want to know the best thing? They're only $1.99.
Oh, they are snuggle hugs.
Now that is
I get
affordable
it.
Peace of mind.
We see you, Jeremy Donaldson.
Not now, honey. I'm mid-pitch. The best thing about Snuggle Traps is they're powered by next-generation Flardinium batteries. So, however long the enemy lasts, these traps will outlast them.
We see you, Mr. Donaldson. You are screaming and yelling. Your friends are crying. They fear you. And then you're gone.
Oh my god, I just got chills. Did anyone else just get chills then?
I think I did.
I think it's more concerned. I think I'd be more concerned about these traps. Quickly, before we go to the break, these appear to be attractively repackaged landmines.
Yes.
Aren't they dangerous, say, to children?
Oh, hell yeah. These are not toys, but they're explosive fun.
Sophia Remington, Dr. Delia Lywell, thank you
All
for
right.
joining us.
When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the situation across the country tonight.
Don't go away. We'll be back after these bandages. Oh yes, Doctor, that was exactly what
Always
we
what you need.
She seems very nice, that young Miss Remington.
I think she'd make an interesting dinner guest.
Do you think so?
No.
I think I'd rather spend the evening shoving Delia's sacred crystals up my skeptical arsehole.
I've decided to come home.
Oh, we got an A+.
I'll call you back at the next break and we can talk about how I get me job back. Cheers, Alex. See you, mate.
You don't do shit here. Now you want it back? Hell no. This is mine now. Actually, if you want to sit here and keep zapping stuff, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. You said it, I've said it. He must know, he's not stupid. I just don't want it getting back to him that it came from us.
Stop!
No, Jenny. You're not backing out on me now. We're in this together. It's gonna work. We'll get him. I made the cake, you're on the balloons. Got no idea how old he is. 14, 17.
Go away!
Yeah. Okay, coming back. In 5, 4, 3.
1, 3, and 4.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Ruth. Now it's time to take a trip around the country to hear how the lockdown might impact the nation from some friendly faces. Joining me are respected academic Katie Brightman and author of Alan James's Kites, Alan James. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Megan.
Thanks, Megan. It really is a pleasure, Katie. I enjoyed our little heated encounter.
I wish I could say the same.
So first off, Katie, how are you coping?
I'm holding up okay. The lockdown directive was so sudden that, like many people, I haven't been able to get home.
Oh no, what happened?
I was staying at a hotel after an international policy convention, and we had a particularly heavy night out. You know what economists are like.
Notoriously hate splitting the bill.
And I overslept, and as you can imagine, I've been here ever since. But there are certainly people much worse off than me.
Exactly. My tour has been cancelled indefinitely, and I've had to refund every single ticket, even the cheap seats.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, that is the biggest concern.
They don't seem to realise I've already spent it filling the beach house with beef.
The crisis claims yet another victim.
So, this is just a reminder that my book, Alan James's Reich, is now available in paperback.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
You're unbelievable.
I agree.
So, Katie, how do you think this might affect the economy? Should we be worried?
Very, Megan. Not to sound dramatic, but this could be catastrophic. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and frankly, it will be a miracle if a lot of businesses can survive this.
There you go, scaremongering again, spreading this latest liberal hoax. That's what they want. They want us quiet. They want us compliant. And they want us inside.
A hoax? How on earth can you say that, Alan?
Well, I haven't actually seen one of these supposed toys. Have you?
Well, no, but...
Did you know 3,000 people die every year from regular toys? That's a lot of people. And this is no different. You're just as likely to be hunted down by a yo-yo or a tennis racket.
He makes an excellent and persuasive point, Katie.
Don't listen to her.
No.
She's agreeing with you, Alan, you absolute shit.
Well, then I must be wrong.
Alan, are you now recanting your statement that these toys aren't dangerous?
People are saying they're just like normal toys, and that simply isn't true. Corrupt media lies.
And Katie, how do you respond to Alan's claims that Mrs. Snugglehugs might be dangerous after all?
I suppose I guess I'm agreeing with him.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your support. A lot of folks are saying this Mrs. Snugglehug situation will all blow over, but it won't.
Can I please cut to
Right,
Jeremy's
exactly.
camera?
We need decisive action from the government. We need huge financial
I really want to
support
cut to
protect our
Jeremy's
workers
camera.
and our communities. We need to support the vulnerable, and we need
To repent. Exactly right, Casey. We brought it on ourselves with all our liberal indulgences like art, cake, and healthcare. We need to act now and begin sacrificing
Go away.
Absolutely, Alan. If we can all successfully come together as a community and perform the ritual, hopefully we will appease the great ancient.
Yeah.
Katie, could it be any worse?
Luckily, over the past few years under Advance, they've invested heavily into health, so the system can actually bear the strain.
Is it lucky that the Llama Lords have unleashed a horde of man-made monsters on its own people to conceal the...
I really want to broadcast a meeting.
Will you just stop for 5 fucking seconds?
The Global Alliance of Fish People...
I really want to broadcast a meeting. I might do a second playthrough where I'll just do like the hilarious stuff.
That's what you sound like.
But...
Meh.
I...
Meh.
The...
Meh. Meh.
I don't sound like that.
Yes, you do.
You do, Alan. You do sound like that.
And that's why you're friend.
I've got loads of friends.
No, you haven't.
I don't think you do, Alan.
Yeah, stop lying, Alan.
I'm not lying. You are...
Oh, good one. Oh, good one.
This is news!
Alan James,
Alan, you know
Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me.
This
Some
is
real
on the
food for thought
news.
there from two of the territory's leading
No, they are
minds.
not!
Any moment now, I'll be heading over to Jeremy, who is going to be bringing us an report of the status of the nation. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you. What I saw was a reasonable debate which really contributed to the national conversation. Next, out on the streets, someone who's always doing exactly that. It's Patrick Bannon. Are you there, Patrick?
Hello, Jeremy. Yes, hello, I'm here. I'm here live. Apologies for the quality of the broadcast today. Couldn't find any cameramen or women brave enough to come and join me, so I'm out here on my own.
Right.
Yes,
and,
you're definitely
Can you
outside.
tell us what it's like out there?
Yep, I can. It's as you can see behind me, the streets are currently completely deserted. So my question, Jeremy, is just how long? I mean, could there be danger lurking just around the corner, waiting to end the fledgling career of this young, promising journalist before his full potential is even realised? Will he die, underappreciated by management, and frankly, if you ask me, very much underpaid?
I don't think there's any danger of that, Patrick. What's that on your jacket there?
Well, that's actually a sponge. What I've done here is made a snuggle-proof jacket, Jeremy. The network didn't bother sending me any PPE, so I've been forced to improvise. In fact, showing the sort of resourcefulness that would make me an ideal candidate for, I don't know, for example, an anchor position starting whenever they'd like.
From your point of view, Patrick, just how safe are our streets?
Not safe at all, Jeremy, not safe at all. I'd recommend people staying inside, following government advice, and not putting themselves at any risk at all. Unless, of course, like me, it's for groundbreaking journalism reasons.
Mm-hmm. And just where are you, Patrick?
I'm in the street, on the street.
Which street?
I think I'm struggling to hear you, actually, Jeremy, there.
Which street? Which street are you on?
Oh, which street am I on? I'm just looking for a
Oh, go. That's nice. That's nice for you to stop by. I hope you enjoyed the time you were here.
Bannon Avenue?
Yep.
Bannon Avenue.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yep, I'm on Bannon Avenue on the sign, it says there.
Like Patrick Bannon?
Oh yeah, that's strange, that's a weird sign. I don't know what's going on there.
Where are you really?
I'm on Bannon. Alright, fine, I'm not on Bannon Avenue, I'm at home. Alright, fine, well I'm in my bathroom technically, but you know, I couldn't face it to be honest, mate. It's you know, it's terrible out there, I don't want to go outside. They're everywhere. I'm sorry for lying.
We don't expect any less of you, Patrick.
Can you hear that sound? What was that?
I can, yes. I'm no expert, Patrick, but it sounds unmistakably like a tiny fist tapping on your door there.
Oh, fuck, it does. Oh, fuck, Jeremy, shit, no! Oh, bollocks.
Perhaps there's a small queue of tiny fists, each wielding a different gendered household implement, ready to bash in the heads of lying little roving reporters.
You're lying, aren't you? Oh, shit. Okay, fucking listen to me, you bastards. If you're out there, just piss off, you little fucking snuggle fuck. I'm too talented to die. I'm too talented. What the fucking hell? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd say you've got a few seconds before they break their way in there and finish you off. What do you see, Patrick?
Ah.
Thank you, Patrick, for that
Well.
report, showing the nation, and more importantly, management, just where you belong. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we'll be happy to take your mind off the world for a little while, and who knows, maybe even bring you a few smiles. Join us after this.
Uh-oh.
You're damn right. Yeah, I had them delivered. Yes, to Bannon Avenue.
Uh-oh. Ah. So there's one in the studio now. How about no? This is a dream.
No, I'm not.
This is a dream.
I'm not going to.
Go away.
I don't have to. No, you're being a child. I'm not. I'm not.
This is a dream.
I'm not.
This absolutely is a dream.
No? No. Oh. 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the National Nightly. Well, welcome back anyway. We know isolation isn't easy, so finally tonight we have something a bit different for you. Even though some people felt it's not our job to entertain the public with absolute nonsense, other, more important people overruled those people. So it's time to find out who will National Nightly win and who will National Nightly lose. So, how do we play? Well, joining me is a man who knows all about playing. It's Tommy Harris. Hello, Tommy.
All right, Johnny. It's good to see ya.
And how are you finding the lockdown, Tommy?
What do you mean lockdown?
The enforced isolation of everyone in the country.
Ah, yeah. I think I heard about that, actually, yeah.
You're in bed, Tommy?
Yeah, you called during nap time, so...
Of course, that's my fault. So, why don't you tell us how the game is played?
Well, it's pretty simple, Jeremy, you sausage. I'm going to ask contestants from around the territory 3 questions about what else, yours truly. And those people are going to get a chance to win a very special prize.
And what are they playing for, Tommy?
Drum roll, please. Jeremy.
Oh.
Jeremy. Thank you.
Is that... What is that?
It's my athletic support, Jeremy.
Oh.
But I've signed it, so...
Oh, well then, what a fantastic prize.
Have we got anybody waiting to win this once-in-a-lifetime prize, Jimmy?
I believe we have Angie on the line. How do you feel about winning this man's old pants, Angie?
I've never been so excited, Jeremy. And can I just say, I love you. Both of you.
Well, you've said it now, haven't you?
Oh, Angie, I love you. In a way. Tell us about yourself, Angie.
Well, what can I say? My name is Angie.
This is getting weird.
I'm a human woman, and my dental hygiene has been described as acceptable.
Brilliant! Right, well, shall we get this shambles underway?
Absolutely, John. Can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
We haven't got a clock.
Yeah, I did ask for a clock. So,
Well, why don't you start, and I'll stop you when it inevitably becomes unbearable to watch.
I love it. All right, here we go. Time starts now. Question 1. When is my birthday?
The 13th of August at 7:19 a.m.
That is absolutely correct.
What?
Question 2. What? I said, what is my favourite colour?
Crushed praline 4.
Correct, the colour of my nipples. And finally, Angie dear, what is my star sign?
That's a trick question. You were born outside of the human understanding of the cosmos.
Unbelievable, that is correct. Stop the clock.
Wow, that really was tough to watch. How did you do, Tommy?
Well, Angie, my love, you got every single question right. Which of course means you lose and win absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing, Angie. Bye. Do we have another contestant on the line at Jelly Bean?
We do indeed. We should have Sonia Artleach. Are you there, Sonia?
Of course I am, Jamie, darling.
Thank you for being here, Sonia.
Oh, there you are, Tommy. Mwah.
Let me guess, you work in theatre, don't you?
Is it that obvious? What gave it away? Was it the glamour or poise?
It certainly wasn't your inherent sense of humility.
Tell us about yourself, Sonia.
Oh, well, if you must play this game. I am a theatrical agent. I represent the likes of Rudy Beefman, Samuel Coffee Cup.
This is FNAF all over again.
Amongst others.
And how's the lockdown affected you, Sonia?
Well, they may have closed the theatres, shut the studios and boarded the cinemas, but they won't get me that easily.
How are you managing without any work?
Due to a savvy clause in all of my artist contracts, I am able to claim my 15% from their unemployment benefit.
Wow, that certainly is sharp.
Standard stuff.
And can I ask, where are you speaking to us from?
Well, I work from home, you know, to keep costs down.
And who's this?
Oh, well, you know, when they gave the order, I was actually mid-meeting with a client, so we've been isolated together.
No fucking way!
What the fucking fuck?
Is that Tommy Harris? I'm a Can I just tell you how bloody brilliant you are?
Actually, Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy?
We've got time.
Well, if it's not too bold, I think I am in love with you, Mr. Harris.
No, it's not too bold. That's all right. Don't worry.
Hey, I'd love to show you some of my stuff. I've been working on some new shit.
Well, at least you're already aware.
During lockdown, we've been workshopping some of Jeff's ideas for much younger children, haven't we?
People still let you near their children, do they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've been developing some shows for younger children.
Well, we'd love to see it, wouldn't we, Gerbil?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Right. So,
Jeremy, why?
Love.
Timely child support payments from their absent fathers.
Shallow and overproduced musical numbers?
That's right. Animals! So, I'm trying to address the things that kids need to know, but through a medium that they'll understand. Do you understand?
I think so, yes.
Jeff's one of my best clients, aren't you?
No.
Yeah. So, the first
Can we
one
not?
we're working on is called The King of the Jungle's Mortgage Repayments. It's about a lion who's having problems with his interest rates.
I see. Does he have a broker?
He does, yes. He's a porcupine. How did you know that?
Well, your work is universal, darling. It speaks to people.
I'm going to say something to you, mate. I think you're onto something here.
Oh, the bear,
Oh, yes, right. This one is much better. So, this one tells the tale of Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear is a very sad bear, because all of the other bears don't think that he'll amount to much, and they tell him that his plays are lazy and derivative.
I think you're onto something there.
Now, Mr. Bear is a tragic figure. Picture this.
He's at his lowest ebb. The trees are closing in. He can't even face his salmon, can he? But then he meets someone that will change his life forever.
This is fucking gripping.
That's
Oh
right.
my god.
He meets a wise, old octopus who takes him under his wing and says, "No, Mr. Bear, don't be sad. You're not like all the other bears. You have this ambition and these dreams."
Such fucking
Go away.
dreams.
I think I love you, Jeff.
And what you need to do, Mr. Bear, says the octopus. Probably do
Got to switch back to the shot.
What you need to do to find happiness in this crazy old forest is you need to set yourself more realistic goals. It's called Mr. Bear Lowers His Expectations.
Wow, you really have taken yourself to new depths. And what do you want children to take away from this?
Oh, fuck shit, fuck.
What?
I said a more realistic worldview.
Right, Jamboree.
It's Jeffrey. My name is Jeffrey Donington.
No, stop. How does it end? We need to know how it ends.
Well, all the animals learn a thing or two about inevitable mediocrity.
Oh my god.
Settles down near to his parents' cave, stops trying to make his band happen, and he goes into bear telemarketing.
Becomes a bear maths teacher.
Oh, and we end. We end on a big musical number. Oh, there's dancing. It's very repetitive.
Wake me up from this nightmare.
Well, if you like, I could go and get my boombox.
Yeah, you know, I might be able to... Hang on, can we get Angie back?
Why not? The more the merrier, as they say at orgies.
Right, I'll just fill then, shall I? Coming up in a moment, it's the world premiere that nobody saw coming.
Lights!
Or wanted. At all. Right. I can only apologise in advance for what we're all about
No.
to endure.
You turn this shitting thing up. Well, there's all sorts of creatures down on Dangly Doodle Farm.
Yes, Jeremy, I feel that. Wake me up from this nightmare, please.
There's Mr. Pig and Mr. Cow. They're always in good moods. But that's 'cause they don't know they'll soon be sliced up into food. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to turn into despair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your dreams go to die. Mr. Raccoon wants to go to the moon. He'll end up as a bus driver soon. Mr. Porcupine thinks he'll read the news at 9. He'll end up as a janitor.
I'm trying to stay with the music.
Mr. Tiny Mouse thought he'd own a massive house. Ended up in a bed.
I don't even care what camera we end up on.
Mr. Horse thought he'd go into professional sports. Now he's an alcoholic and he's on his third divorce. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the place your life becomes an endless questionnaire. Mr. Bear, what's that
This is horrible to watch.
That's where your hopes go to die. Lower your expectations. Maybe you could get a job in telecommunications. No matter how you try, you'll never reach the League of Nations. The best you'll get is middle rank in trading operations. So lower your expectations. You'll never win an Oscar, so there's no congratulations. The future that is coming will not meet specifications, and no amount of visualizations will save you from your own deterioration. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's a tramp who thought he'd be a multi-millionaire. Mr. Bear, what's that over there?
That's where self-esteem goes to die. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the disappointment that is waiting everywhere. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your schemes go to die. That's where your dreams
Please make it end!
That's where dreams go to die.
What I'm sure is bound to be a classic of
Oh my god!
But now, let's see how it's really done.
Before we wrap up the news tonight, I just wanted to spend a moment talking to you directly. A final thought, if you will, just for you, Alex. You see, I know you think it's gotten complicated back at the old homestead, but there's something you should know. You like to think you got the family rules, the feelings of cool.
Let me out of this nightmare! Help!
You like to think you've got it under control. Well, if that was your goal, you better re-roll. Did you have a
Make it end, please! Help! Just help!
Now Chris and Sam are broken, 'cause you're too scared of the law. And Charlie's getting angry, locked behind his bedroom door. But Susie thinks you're perfect with that holiday abroad. And I've gotta say, you clearly love your daughter more. One more time for a peaceful night. Yeah, you clearly love your daughter more. That's news.
Go away.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight on the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow when Jeremy will be wrestling an alpaca and I'll be naked. I'm Megan Wolf. Have a treacle night.
Go away!
Oi, just give me that beer. I'm fucking famished.
What just happened?
I'm reaching out through the lens of this camera to say, buddy, if you're listening, build a better life for yourself. You want crazy?
What is that piss? Do you think I'd be happy with that?
And I gotta say, hats.
You're out of your mind.
Help. Please get me out of this nightmare. Oh my god. Is it over? Please tell me it's over. Holy hell. What just happened? We're alive. Please slowly back to consciousness, opening your eyes. You're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuring familiar side in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone to focus. You feel a hand on yours, gently but reassuring. Sam, they're with you as always. Their expression, understandably concerned, is somewhat more affectionate than ever. Chris chimes in from besides them. See, Alex is fine. We missed the game for nothing. You and Crystal aren't on good terms, but it's hard to miss the tone of disdain in their voice. Remind yourself that this isn't about Chris and squeeze Sam's hand, smiling at them. You're not awake for 5 minutes and you're already reading it being... Nah, let's just... The worry lines on Sam's forehead fade a bit. Lord knows you've both got enough to be anxious about without your health being thrown into the mix. With a final smile at them, you turn to the rest of your family. As you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting, clearly trying to not look worried. As soon as you turn at him, you see Charlie tense up, his concerns clear on his face. So, you're definitely good, right? He finally asks, quietly looking away. Of course I'm fine, buddy. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah, of course I'm fine. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. Your smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all of your best efforts, she's not doing well lately. You okay, Mom? Your mother starts your call, clearly shocking her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, of course. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, the doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time now how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of a shock to the old system, pardon the pun. She smiles. Now that we'd recommend you do anything like that again, of course. Not that we, oh my god, I can read. Not that we'd recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple of days rest home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room in care, the doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive, has all been paid for by Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seems like the least he could do. Well, that is nice. At least my boss cares about me. A burden to bear? Oh, God. You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. Oh. I'll give you a quick kiss as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they are holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry. Fly, go away. Converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. Fortunately, with the money that's been coming in and what we've been able to save, we've got more than enough to keep going. With Susie home to help out, the nurse would only need to be part-time anyway. Sam smiles at you. I know things have been difficult, and the daily care won't be cheap, but she's your mother. We have to really, don't we? You gratefully smile back. Of course you'll pay for the care your mother needs. Your mother has been herself for a long while. Maybe it's time to consider the other option. Kat, you okay? Everything's just interrupting. Well, the wealth thing was things are looking up. taking care of somebody in your own home is a huge responsibility. Yeah, sure. The sword of Damocles, sheathed, at least for the moment. You grab the papers and stuff them into a drawer. It's such a relief to not have to worry about it anymore, or so you told Sam. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, how long will the money last? Yeah. We went to not worrying every day. That's fine. Day 201. A letter home. Sam's off with work tonight, and Charlie's staying at a friend's house. The house is yours. You order a takeaway, have a couple of drinks, and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely something to watch. You feel like a laugh, comedy it is. Sam's not here, but you can still watch horror without them. You just want to switch off. Action thriller is the one. Sam isn't a fan of historical drama, so you make the most of them being away. I say action thriller. The writing's terrible, and you're pretty sure the lead actor got the role from their looks rather than their talent. Well, despite yourself, you're actually quite into it by the finale, even if the rope bridge over the active volcano is a bit cliche. Yeah. When it's over, you reach for the fallen remote and instead find something small and metal lying under the coffee table. As you bring it into the light, you're reminded of Sam's note on the fridge. Hey sweetheart, Charlie lost Susie's present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? As you hold it closer, you're surprised to find the gift's actually an engraved lighter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still growls every time she says it. I'm not sure Sam would approve. No. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Kyrgyzstan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid, Suze. Hopefully it's just a souvenir, not new pastime he's picked up or about to pick up. Yeah. It's nice that she thought of him. That is true. 2:32. And we are back in the studio. It's over nice. Twice. I've been living in a paradise. There's silence. Oh.
Oh, you're fired.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny? Problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
That's
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Five,
naughty and do your job.
You'll have me fine too.
3.
Good evening, I'm Megan Reed.
And I'm Jeremy
All
Jones.
right.
Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it'll be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a
I
reassuringly
need to actually
brave
listen to
statement
these.
in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side.
All right.
Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there. Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Remington's Fist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking
I wanna stay
male
neutral.
contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The drug has been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture? Patrick?
Would you take the male contraceptive pill?
No, mate. Her body, her baby, her problem.
How progressive of you.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
Do you have any feelings about Disrupt?
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Bubbling up, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and Dr. Ingrid Svorsborg and Hawkinsford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate team are going to need all the thoughts and prayers they can get.
So what should we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bannon again.
I'll say positive.
So I'd imagine that you think this is a great plan.
Oh my god! How did you know? It's a brilliant idea. I hope everyone gets behind them so that they know that we're with them. In spirit, of course. I can't actually go diving because I'm scared of salt.
I mean, everyone has
I am
their
not
own
a
fear.
number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Neutral.
Team membership cards.
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always
Oh
said,
my God.
membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hamsley
All three of these
and
are
his fiancée,
horrible.
Tiffany Lamore, was spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has sold better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National
Nightly
Nightly
News.
My God. This is horrible to drag.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard at Labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent, yeah?
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah?
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole, like, vote thing, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Feuerland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So, like, we all had to work our grandparents clean, yeah, whilst the vote was happening, and that's, like, a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like a sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man? It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh, stop winding him
Oh,
up, Ivan. We're not back
God.
in the range now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always win.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. It can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have, like, serious animal welfare legislation. And, like, my friend Helge, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker, too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Yeah, we are.
Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and power
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Bjerg?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Vucevic.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. When really he's just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
We'll be back
after these messages.
1 minute back.
Oh my god, I almost missed that.
I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure. Front or back?
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
We're not playing that.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
We'll play
It's
that.
all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation. Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
No. No. We'll be ignoring those.
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What? I think you're doing the crown principle.
Oh no, we're gonna have another music number.
Megan.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, man.
It's quite alright.
I also need to change out the ad cassette. I need to remember that.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at the theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
Jesus. Okay.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale.
I'm just holding a 7-second rule that like every 7 seconds I switch camera.
You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well,
I'm censoring red, not blue.
They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this for nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a,
or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay. Oh, God. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places.
I don't like rap.
Only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation for your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned. Talking about expansion. Why does Juliet require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team. And I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find your one of us.
Because I need to hear the censors.
A bit Jesus, and you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me, but I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head, cause he's fit as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork.
Oh my god.
So this is for the
I have no rhythmic feel for this.
The folks to feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had money like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal.
This editing is not gonna work at all, because I have no track of it.
All our means things are not the same, and the best of the brave serve the press of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to fall apart with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire.
Oh my god.
Let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling bed letters, and burn them on the pyres of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that speed, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt. Then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Oh my god.
Jay's us there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral.
I didn't censor any of the lyrics,
and independent of
aside
any
from the
outside
swears.
interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
I didn't censor any of the lyrics.
Sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
I didn't censor any of the
This
lyrics.
is fucking outrageous.
Thank you so much. If you could just come with me.
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand.
What?
This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Yeah, that one was horrible.
This past fortnight has really been amazing.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Dropping a new tape. Last ad break.
You told me you're on the pill.
Not all contraception
Well, yeah,
is
I got that.
reliable. So I guess now we have to get married.
But we've only been on 5 dates. I don't even know you, Julie.
I didn't censor any of the lyrics.
Marriage and children seem to be a
That is
pretty big
bold.
decision to make in a wine bar, Janet.
Oh, here we go.
There has to be a better way.
Look at
Now
him.
there is, young
If we
lovers.
could just get you in position.
Now you
Oh,
can
say no
doubly
more.
say
Say
the
no
bees.
more.
This is responsibility, the world's first male contraceptive pill.
Harris, and
Now
this
men
is
don't have to
Rachel.
worry about difficult things like commitment.
Back together again, eh? Who'd have
In
thought
our
it?
almost entirely successful group trial.
My sighting is all messed up about this.
Right, okay then.
So I'm allowed to say they're safe to take.
10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Responsibility. Because children shouldn't be by accident. And let's face it, condoms suck.
5, 4, 3.
Whatever.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken.
Welcome
Sitting
back,
across
and
from
no,
us
you're
are
not
some
mistaken.
very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Rayton, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to the training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, can you... He thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did he say?
Yeah, right.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Ah, well,
After the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so. Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really gets
I have
to
an
the heart
information
of
overload
how
here.
tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. But you're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Wow. Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same
Tremendous
tired
range, just
characters
wears
in
a
every
different hat.
god-awful yogurt advert, or godforsaken soap opera, or God forbid, a pantomime. But you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show.
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable.
Yep.
He was
Yep.
our rock.
Can you give us
Glad
a
I got that on
sneak
camera.
peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yeah. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support,
my
we'd have had
God.
to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable, Megan.
Well, thank you all
Free.
so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, that D is perfectly deserved. Advance angered by content. I do not care. exceedingly poor. Yeah, I'll never get a good edit. I am not a good editor. This is why I don't edit videos, because I'm a terrible editor. Yeah. I don't think Advance is actually helping. Not at all. I think we'll do one more broadcast, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. A ladder worth climbing. That's awfully exciting music. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon in summer, with you and Sam making the most of both kids being out of the house. You bang your head coming out of the cupboard with the last 2 slices of homemade cake. It used to be much easier when you could store things in the pantry. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish sweet things from this house, and you savor every moment. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie back from the go-getters. You can hear him practically running to come find you, and he's grinning from ear to ear when he finally does. I have some really big news. You and Sim play along, sitting attentively with baking bread. Ready? As you both nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket and proudly presents it to you both to examine as he announces. As of today, I am a member of the first tier of Cohesion Cadets. That's way more stuff I'm going to be doing, and I'll be working some weekends, but it's really cool. So congratulate Charlie, as you can't help but frown. This seems a big step up for teenagers. I agree. I really need to give this a second playthrough. A sign of things to come. Shopping, something that always seemed so tedious before the sanctions, has become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. You managed to get almost everything you need for the family this evening. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to the checkpoint set up at the exit. A friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform CCO emblazoned in a number of places on it. Approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You look down. Good evening, nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Weren't these cards supposed to be voluntary? Sorry, I don't have one. Ah, that's not a problem. We've got forms with us right here, and we're more than happy to sign you up. The man gestures to his colleague behind him, a young woman in a similar uniform. She clearly received the short end of the stick and is stuck with the paperwork. Yeah, I thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they are not. But there's also loads of benefits to having them, and no reason not to get them. His smile fades a bit when he puts a hand up to scratch the back of his neck for a moment. He leans over you, his presence now seeming a little intimidating. No thanks, I'm good. Almost instantly, the friendly demeanor is gone and his expression is one of the stern disapproval. Well, obviously I can't make you sign up. but I would strongly recommend you do, and soon. We wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, would we? It takes a step back and gestures you to drive on. You're sure you see him writing something down in your rearview mirror as you head home somewhat more hurriedly than before. Clearly Advance has been keen on everyone joining the team. Yeah. Invitation worth ignoring. It is Saturday, one of your few days off, and you've made the most of it. But as late afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event, Bozeman was very quick to tell you. Also, don't you dare be late. You've already skipped a work weekend once. You can't do it again, best go. You can live with another note from Bozeman if you can keep your Saturday night. Now let's go with it. Because I think I need to be... I feel like I need work on my side, somewhat, in a sense. Because I don't think, like, they are trying to stay neutral, but Jeremy, at least, is going very against the advanced stuff. So I should try to keep in here. Bozeman is certainly not going to be happy, but then Bozeman wouldn't be happy if you was made king the same day he won the lottery. But that's not your problem, not right now anyway. Wait, what? I clicked the... What? I clicked the other one, didn't I? Hold on. I clicked the one to take the invitation, not ignore it.
Good evening. I'm...
Unless I misclicked. There. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Better start getting ready. There. Yeah, I clicked the wrong one. My bad. You wonder if Sam will give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good at your job. Right? I think I am. A national news night. You arrive on time, barely, at the Savanian, one of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in, and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice just how very opulent the building is. Possibly the fanciest place you've seen in your life. You submit to being patted down, and with a sigh of relief are led into the hotel. Once inside, you're directed to the grand ballroom, and following the signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place, and the amount of armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a very severe-looking woman at the door asks for your name, Alex Winston. She cutely checks her list before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You've made it just in time to be seated before dinner. Please follow Emmanuel here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the grey double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second to take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow him. He seats you at the table away from the central floor area, half under the set of stairs. Your view of the stage is, at best, partially blocked. Postman definitely not happy with you at the moment. Postman's definitely not happy with you at the moment. Yeah, probably. You're sad with some colleagues you've heard of around the Channel 1 office before but haven't met. For most part, they're considered slackers at best and about to be fired at worst. What category do you fit in? Hopefully neither? As the evening goes on, you hear Jeremy Donaldson receive an award for outstanding contributions to journalism. You also hear Megan Wolf accepting it on his behalf as he hasn't turned up to the event. Not unusual, apparently. But it's hard for you to tell much from your limited view under the stairs. You also notice a community cohesion office hovering near your table. They seem to be bored to be here as... They seem to be as bored to be here as you. A few glasses of no doubt very expensive wine later, you see Bozeman speaking to a few specific tables, joined by what looks like Prime Minister Julius Salisbury and Peter Clement. This is confirmed by an unimpressed nod from the CCO when you ask them, perhaps a little too loudly. The presence sparks a debate between those at your table about the virtue of both advance and disrupt. You espouse how advance is making the country a better place. You argue in favor of disrupt and their ideals of freedom. You stay out of the politics. You've probably had too much to drink. Not publicly. You end up talking and staying later than you thought you would, despite yourself. Sam isn't best pleased when you keep them waiting outside for 20 minutes, but it wasn't an entirely terrible evening in the end. You'd still rather have been at home, though. Maybe we'll skip the next one. Maybe. It's actually nice how they kept both the partners neutral, so you can sympathize with either. Because both Alex and Sam are neutral names, and Alex addresses Sam as they them. So that's a nice touch. The heat wave. Oh dear.
Yes, that flip switch. It will blow whenever the valves overheat, but you can keep them cool with the fan, provided you point it at the correct valve. There's a power switch on the face. The damn thing keeps turning off occasionally for no good reason. You'll have to turn it back on. So, keep your eyes on the gauge at the front, and keep your ears open in case you hear the valves sizzling. Don't let the trip switch blow or you'll have to wait before the power can be restarted, which can have a negative effect on the quality of the news. The jury's still out on you, Alex, so let's try and stay on top of things.
Hey, we're working on it.
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
10 seconds, everybody.
So we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening.
Oh, this just
I'm
stays
Jeremy
on.
Donaldson.
I'm perfectly cool
Our
with
main
that.
headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week.
They're the same.
In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julius Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The regrettable decision taken by the World Council this morning have left the citizens of this country isolated and fearful. But Advance have prepared for this day. Our stockpiles are large, our wealth is unfathomable, And we will defend our citizens with every last breath from this latest brutal and calculated act of war. We are with you. One team. Indivisible and strong. Thank you.
Without a hitch, with the celebrity wedding of the year off the cards, rumours have been flying as to the why. Ever since they broke off their engagement, the separation of celebrity lovebirds Johnny Hansleaves and Tiffany L'Amour has been the subject of fierce speculation in the tabloids. But earlier today, Johnny finally spoke out. Johnny has said he's received an outpouring of support after coming out as gay at a press conference earlier today. In a heartfelt statement, he said that despite the fear of reprisals, it was time he finally shared his truth in the hope that gay young people would see that there's no shame in being a footballer. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Bitter pill. Is this the beginning of the end for responsibility? The male contraceptive pill, lauded by scientists as a remarkable achievement, has been widely rejected by the public. Sales of the revolutionary drug have been non-existent, with many claiming the world simply wasn't ready for such a shift in radical reproductive politics. Relentless CEO Sophia Remington has refused to bow to public pressure and give up on the treatment. Seen here outside Remington Cysts HQ, the dogged businesswoman called the failure a minor hiccup before reducing 2 reporters to tears. Leaders shipping out. The trapped scientists undertaking a bold escape from Dante's taint have revealed which of their 2 erstwhile leaders will spearhead their journey to freedom. While throughout their careers it's been clear that Doctors Wong and Swartzborg and Horgensford have worked best together, it seems one of them is now going to be taking a back seat. Ingrid has always been the tempered coolant to David's flagellized metal, so it's no surprise that with the unexpected challenges the team have faced, they chose her methodical and effective approach to getting the team home safely. Critics, however, have speculated that her strategy may be delayed, as her name takes much longer to say. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. As grassroots support for the movement grows rapidly, especially in those areas Advance have not yet been able to fully regenerate, people across the country are starting to fear a return to the bad old days of inequality, division, and multiple television shows about buying houses. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Come on.
But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what this scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns at the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
I'd love to coach Jeremy right now.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary.
Why? What else am I supposed to do?
Expected? Everything is absolutely...
It doesn't change a thing.
Fucked? Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit.
There you go. Much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing
Just Jeremy's
all of this.
face.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
There you are. Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you
Oh, there goes everything.
You're with science. Back to you.
Megan Warfare, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
You can't be serious. I've turned everything else off. Good,
Well,
there's no
dredged
point in
with
me turning it
gluten.
off.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So,
Yeah, there's
can
no
you
point in
tell
me turning it
about the
off.
moment when you first heard the news.
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater.
Oh.
When the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
I get it.
So you were both polishing turds.
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So Gary,
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
there's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Or would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah. This big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What
Yeah.
a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which was recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else.
Oh,
Barry
God.
Ruggles, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
Tell you what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
Oh, that's not really a problem, never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous, why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon, feel the Bannon. Oh man, what's the
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
He's about to just, yep. And there he goes.
Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Well, that was stupid, even for you.
I don't care. It's done. I am done. It's 200 fucking degrees in here, and I can't do this anymore.
You say this every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
My mic is screwed.
I don't see why we shouldn't play this.
Expect the government to request some censoring during the next section. Obviously, we can't force you to do it, but it would make me and the powers that be very happy if you just comply.
No.
That's what I'm talking about? Cat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grantham Downs. Even the weather would be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot!
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5, 4, 3.
Welcome Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. See, I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard.
Don't forget about that pesky power button on the fan.
Yeah.
It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking
Right
irritating.
now it's not bad though.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much
Oh,
support
I
I've
didn't. I
received.
missed that.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't
Wow,
say
we
that.
may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on!
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger town
I'll
with
take
a
that.
world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once!
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Trying not to piss myself.
Alex,
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre, both visitors came home. You listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person.
Oh, don't worry, Jeremy. I'm on your side.
I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners? Bloody cat football? We are on the brink of a siege the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Good. Yes. Now, right. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really.
I already got it.
To your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of your machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
All upstairs appreciate there may be lives at stake. They want you to know the official policy of this channel is that we do not negotiate with terrorists. Just think before you act.
I already picked my side.
We're going to show the other side for a bit. For a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. Now, I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to
Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
You've seen our symbols on your walls. You've heard them talk about us on the news. We are Disrupt. We are the Resistance. It's time you knew the truth. You know Advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
You know what?
My name is Alan James.
I'll take it.
I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labors. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us. It isn't hard. We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. Look, but this was unexpected. This was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy? So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off. It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today. Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long, Jenny? How long?
You're already live. You're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the National Joining me, unexpectedly, for I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News, and is someone I consider, well, a friend. Well, and next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
What's your name? Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official. He's a community
Officer.
cohesion official. Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that for you, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team does't have as many.
But it still has some.
I feel like I would be having somebody kick down my door any second.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny? We'll come back to you later.
Don't want to be on the news, Jeremy. Don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. We'd want to do this. We'd want to do this. Jenny. Why did you join the National Nightly News team? Why did you join the National Nightly News?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? Yes, but why the National Nightly? The National Nightly.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
It was the news everyone trusted. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss? Is there something else you'd rather
Big
discuss?
Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring. Elephant in the room
What
you
do you
seem to be
mean?
ignoring. I saw your face when that bit came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger. It's about the message, not the messenger. No. I didn't know. No. The people I met were with... He wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know it
But
was
seriously.
Alan James. I'm sorry.
Alan. Seriously. Fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country. He's popular in the country.
That right. That right.
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. There is still something. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you know it, Jenny. And you at home, you know it too. And you at home, you know it too. I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, Paul. What a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who?
Not saying anything.
Fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at
Goodness,
Benson
the
Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Then why do you need these?
That is a very good question.
Not any help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
I don't understand.
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
Security are here,
What?
Jeremy.
Eat it. Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop.
Eat it.
He will kill you. He will kill you. Don't make me watch that. Please. Don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Of course. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. You too, Jenny. Over there. We're nearly done. We're nearly done. All cameras on me. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so... seductive. I understand that.
I am hooked.
But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of, whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves.
I'm still gonna censor the swears.
That's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast in the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried it. I loved the news. And now, well...
Oh God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you.
Hold.
But this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry.
Ads.
I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please,
We are
cut
not.
to the ads.
My name's Jeremy Donaldson.
We are cutting. That we are cutting. situation has been resolved. Our offensive force was censored. Well then. Wow. Did the broadcast
Well,
continue
in less than a
after
minute,
this?
we'll be going live to the newsroom. But before that, let's take a quick peek at tonight's scorching lineup. At 6:30, Megan
wanna
Wolf
see
is
if
at
it
the beach,
continued
chatting
after
with
that.
members of the general public for a special heatwave edition of Your Part of Town. That's followed.
Let's skip through this real quick. Actually, wait, no. This is the broadcast I made. Is this the one? Meltdown?
How long?
Yes. I just need one of the monitors. So this is all continue afterwards?
My name's James.
Okay, it does cut there. Oh, God. I don't want to quit now. Because it just got super interesting. Because it just got super interesting. A tape to remember. You wake up still partially in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa next to Sam. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night. After Jeremy, everything that happened. Sam shakes their head. I wonder what they'll do with him now. Are you okay? Lock him up, probably. Can't say I blame them. I can't shake the feeling he might be right. He is, in a sense. Sam glanced at Charlie, then back at you. We saw that you chose to play that tape. They paused before continuing. And I couldn't help but wonder why. It seemed like the right thing to do. What, that's not good enough? Disrupt are bad people. I can't believe you did that. Charlie's outburst seemed to come out of nowhere, and no one in the room is prepared for it. Do you even think about how this stuff affects people? You're a fucking idiot. Sam tries to interject Charlie, but he's already slammed the door. Charlie's always a bit black and white about this sort of thing. Yeah, especially with him being in the advanced thing. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were in an impossible situation, and somehow you managed to make the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. Only you were stuck in that studio, having to make that choice. No one can criticize what you did, and I'm proud of you. You've never been so grateful. Sam supports you. You take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's a lot to take in. You're not sure you've processed what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it all. You sigh and absentmindedly turn on the TV. It's nice to have at least got some company. The TV is playing through some old western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you'd hope. You were never going to please everyone. No, absolutely not. Wow, that's quite a while later. A burden born. It's been 6 months since you and Sam last discussed Grandma's ever-increasing medical costs. And Emma, whilst very pleasant, has proven as expensive a nurse as you'd feared. You can't quite believe it's been that long already, but the sanctions are really starting to hit home now. And unfortunately, the government's only solution to help the ailing elderly is a day trip to a transition center. Why does everything always seem to come back to money? Yeah. This time it's you at the kitchen table, surrounded by bills and paperwork when Sam comes to join you. Today Emma told you that there was really nothing more you could do, except an expensive experimental new treatment that might not even help. Sometimes your mom wants the treatment, more often she talks about visiting a transition center. It's hard to know which she really wants. Sam puts a hand on yours. What are we going to do, honey? She's your mother. It has to be your choice. Oh my god. I don't like this anymore. It's hard, but it's time with resistance. He's my mom. We have to do whatever we can. It's like, ah. This is such a painful choice. Let me think about this. Saying she doesn't like to live like this anymore. I mean, yes, but also no. I mean, yeah, the money is an issue. You know what? No. She's staying here. It's a difficult choice. You never know when you might need that money, particularly for the kids. What if Charlie gets in an accident? What if something happens to Susie while she's aboard and she needs help? But what if you could give them a few more good years with a grandmother? Surely that's worth the cost. Yeah, I agree. Holiday update. Just as you're finishing up breakfast, Sam comes in with a pause. Oh, we got a postcard from Susie. I hope she's having fun on her trip. Sam reads it out loud as you finish getting ready for work. So, I've seen what feels like most of Urkistan. Really cool place, but so cold. Hold Chippy enjoyed the gift, and before you say anything, yes, you were right to make me pack the extra pair of socks. Saying gives a small kick under the table. Next we got to train to Konislava. Much warmer and loads of beaches to enjoy. I could have stayed here forever, but had to head to San Paul Marino before it got too cold. And I'm so glad we did. We've probably got 1 or 2 more stops before heading home. And I'll be back in time for Christmas, I promise. Hope everyone's doing well. Love, Susie. Sounds like it's been hell of a trip, worth every penny. I absolutely agree. That absolutely does sound like it. Oh boy, we're back in the studio. Oh boy. So Jeremy is just not gonna be here anymore, is what I'm gathering. Ever since I played that one advanced app, there has not been another advanced app ad. Oh, what the frick?
Your boss. We're expecting deplorables from Disrupt to hack the signal tonight. Perhaps you could leave your personal beliefs at home and try not to let them ruin the broadcast. Even if you don't care for the government, I assume you understand you have a vested interest in us staying on the air. Stay out of the orange.
What?
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
Well, what does that mean?
It means to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war or politics in general, really.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me, but...
What?
Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now. I think she's giving a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the late news.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like
Stay
me,
out of
eh?
the orange, okay?
How are you?
Oh my god, you're just throwing more information at me.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Rumpled old sod.
Don't.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported today, and as the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will, tragically, only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. However, with the reported rise in mental and physical health issues since the imposition of the blockade, critics have questioned whether those smaller communities which are only now starting to receive help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. The transition centres have reported larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankley Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful, but it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former National Nightly News anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Pension Ridge Prison, while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away, begin. Since being taken into custody 10 weeks ago in this very studio, little has been heard from our former colleague. Despite how things ended, we wish him the best, and we'll be sure to bring you all the details of that court case every night. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week, and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Wow. This is getting dark. This is getting dark and heavy.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lancashire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you?
Well, you know, Mrs. C and I were watching, you know, the night the blockade began, when Jeremy Donaldson, well, you know, and it were blistering hot, as I'm sure you all remember.
Should stay out of this,
and
right?
I were a bit wheezy from all the cigars and all that. And Mrs. C turns to me after the signal dropped away, and she was in floods of tears. She said, I couldn't go on without you. She's dead. So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. My birthday. Weddings. State dinners. That's what I say. I got this useless running backwards doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C is never like travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times, on that we can all agree. There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territory at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Some of those forms are bastard long. What?
I miss the censor.
Oh, yeah. Also, it doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
Oh. I have not done any editing during that whole time. My God.
No one tells me anything, Peter. You should know that. Why don't you know?
You know what? We're going with this.
Well, leaving that for a moment, it says on this card that a body like yours must take some planning to achieve. What's your morning routine?
Okay, hold on. Now that I understand this, let me restart this. I thought it was not just another interference thing, but no. Okay. No, because then I'm actually gonna show the other stuff. Oh my God. This is so hectic.
Alex, Bozeman, your boss. We're expecting deplorables from Disrupt to hack the signal tonight. Perhaps you could leave your personal beliefs at home and try not to let them ruin the broadcast. Even if you don't care for the government, I assume you understand you have a vested interest in us staying on the air. Stay out of the orange.
Yeah, no. Okay. I absolutely misunderstood that.
Just don't get drawn into talking about the war or politics in general.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me, but... Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now. I think she's giving a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the late news.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know?
How are you?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Bump it off, sod.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
My God.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported today, and as the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will, tragically, only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has
This
seen
is heavy
shelves restocked
stuff.
with
This
increasing
is
regularity.
absolutely heavy stuff.
However, with the reported rise in mental and physical health issues since the imposition of the blockade, critics have questioned whether those smaller communities which are only now starting to receive help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. The transition centres have reported larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankipool Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful, but it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former National Nightly News anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Pension Ridge Prison, while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away, begin. Since being taken into custody 10 weeks ago in this very studio, little has been heard from our former colleague. Despite how things ended, we wish him the best, and we'll be sure to bring you all the details of that court case every night. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. too, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you?
Well, you know, Mrs. C and I were watching, you know, the night the blockade began, when Jeremy Donaldson... Well, you know, they were blistering hot, as I'm sure you all remember. And I were a bit wheezy from all the cigars and all that. And Mrs. C turns to me after, you know, after...
Disrupt propaganda out. Try not to do that, Alex. We're watching you.
Shush.
She's dead. I couldn't go on without you. She's dead. So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking
This is what
cigars.
people actually want to see.
Except for Christmas. My birthday. Weddings. State dinners. That's what I say. I got this useless running back which doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times, on that we can all agree. There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territory at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Those farmers are bastard low.
Actually, I don't need to censor that.
Together.
Because it's not live.
Also, it doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Spenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What?
Oh yeah.
Did you know about this, Gail?
No one
Sure.
tells me anything, Peter. You should know that. What did you know?
Well, leaving that for a moment, it says on this card that a body like yours must take some planning to achieve.
And
What's your
beloved
morning
truth seekers
routine?
is to be put on trial. And for what? Waving a gun around, he clearly had no intention of ever using. That Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown is undeniable, but
And
rather than law
plan that my
enforcement,
doctor and
would
personal
medical
trainer...
experts
Who's your
be the one to
personal
call?
trainer?
Of course, that was never
So
going to happen.
record. Is
Jeremy
that on your
Donaldson
card?
had a very public
Prime
breakdown
Minister,
because he
speaking of
simply
planning,
couldn't take
with the
what
blockade
advance
in
were
its
doing
20th
anymore.
week and the people of this country
He knew
really
that the
in
National
suspense,
Nightly
what
News
plans do you
was
I
being
am
transformed
so
from a
overloaded with
bastion of truth
information.
into a frivolous chat
Well,
show.
that's a very...
Like a mother watching her child fall under a
Surely one
predator's
thought
spell,
you, the democratically
he couldn't
elected
stand
Prime
by and
Minister,
allow that
must
to
have an
happen.
answer.
He chose to
Don't you get
stand up
smart
to
with
it,
me, Pat.
and their
I
response
was a
would be to
fucking
destroy him.
national
He
treasure
will be
before you were a
discredited,
twinkle in a
shamed,
milkman's
tried and
scrotum.
convicted. They
You wanna
will
talk
break
about
him
plans?
as an
Let me
example
tell you
to us
about
all.
plans. That's all we do.
Today,
Fucking plans and revised
Disruptors named
plans
him
and
an
then
officer
meetings to
and
discuss the
absent.
implementation of
You
plans.
welcome
Plans and yet
him.
more planning for
We
fucking
are with
plans
you,
and yet
Jeremy.
more
You do
fucking
not
plans.
stand
Well,
alone.
that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know, I used to really like you, Pat. You were a breath of fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
sorry, you
the
imagine?
usual... no, what I mean is...
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old man used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards, what else? A little piece of my life you want to rustle through? Get up, refill my glass. Ta. Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is. Do you think the C stands for...
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C and many a fine single malt. I won't for nothing. So for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the Culture Spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back after this.
1 minute back, everybody. And that is what happens when you wander from the car.
I don't think you knew.
I didn't play the ad. I am so spaced out. Oh my god.
Am I in trouble?
Bozeman? Nah, you're like the daughter who never had. I suppose the higher-ups might fire him, though.
Who's Lil C?
Or if there's any justice, me.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
My god, I am so spaced out. I am too invested in the story. I completely I forget to do the editing altogether.
Sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
My god.
I've never heard of her before. Is she good?
My kids go mad. Due to the ongoing military blockade, some destinations may differ from those
Colin,
in this
you've got
advertisement,
kids.
as the cruise now mainly take place around
7, I think.
What?
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album, smashing the chart records
I got
at
it.
the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
Oh dear lord.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
My manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Oh, well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you
Had my finger on the wrong key.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Uh-huh. So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start not wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again?
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's
Yeah,
out
please
tomorrow.
end this.
So soon, after the last one?
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview.
Nobody wants to see this.
See, this is called Cry for Help and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops.
Nobody wants to see this.
Now, so girlies, you know what to do.
Thanks, I don't want to see it
You
either.
always had a plausible answer, a good answer. But somehow it's too good. Like it's been prepared in advance. Or possibly by them. We want to know what the news will no longer tell us. And when we find out, we will tell you. We will hack into your news broadcasts. We will defend your right to information. We will resist, and we will disrupt.
I think things could have been different, you know, like better, but I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio.
Yeah, shush. We're getting there.
And as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
No, wrong. I have my hand on the wrong
Yeah,
keys.
which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, make Cragler proud and you might just survive childbirth.
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Despite anything, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. You know what? It's actually alright. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then. Well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. We'll see you in a little bit.
It was a very specific type of pleasure
to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this.
Don't.
With an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
It's the Force's favorite. It's the Force's favorite team. The Queen here to breaking your blockades. Here to breaking your blockades. Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see?
I have no rhythmic feeling for this.
There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meet you back in. Only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team in me. No dirty foreign member. Don't stop your morning drill. There's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter. Come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Tie me down and probe me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die. So what a
I am really trying to focus on this.
I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
I am focusing on music here. How is this? I'm struggling to understand how this is appealing to children. What?
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. From the world outside, I'd like to thank Phil Seafold. Well, for doing that, don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
What?
Hi, it's Neil here with a pre-Christmas crazy Christmas deal. It's post-Christmas, it's pre-Christmas.
I am...
Thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know, to be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours.
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain... Like,
oh right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about big Bob jean shorts?
Oh, my dad. Such a sweetheart. We both have the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us got in together. And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a D&T before my meeting with the lube guys. They say for your pleasure, I'm going to stop using it.
If you're feeling hungry, don't feel down in the mouth. You can have a dog on a line.
This next section will need you to use all of the sound effects to help things along. Try and pick the most appropriate one in each
Well, the
given
fact
moment.
is,
The actors
Jen,
can't hear what
there
you're
weren't
doing,
enough
so they'll
flowers
be
in my
trusting you to
dressing
make the
room.
right choices.
Well, as it said in your writing.
Do I look like the sort of person...
No!
No, not anymore. I'm better than that now. I'll tell you what.
Oh my
just keep
God.
adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
Oh my God.
3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePoon now. How'd you like that?
Yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this? Your wife. Your wife.
Ah! Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
Norm de Plume. And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Excellent, you're a natural. Keep it up.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray. It's
I
those young
hate
lads.
this.
They
vandalized my shop.
I hate this.
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn you.
I don't know.
Try
It
here.
could be the vicar at closing time.
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the
This is
error of
horrible.
their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can
This is
unlock
worse than the
their
nightmare.
future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh,
This makes absolutely no
I
sense.
think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? What's up?
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What? Did you say tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray? Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating.
I swear to God, if I would be watching this on TV, I would have turned off long ago.
For months.
Well, blow me down.
I would have switched off
You know what?
ages
We
ago.
judged you based on how young and cool you are, and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalized my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
What is happening? What is happening?
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into... they put them into millions. I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption. And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions are not met in full and without delay.
Nope, screw off.
The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender. Your territories will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your
They're
people are our people.
It's what you want. It's not.
Finally be fed and clothed
Forget it.
and educated and healed. But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David. And right now I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work. And I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent, in Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konislava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago.
Oh no.
So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet, but together we will find out. And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out. We've got people ringing around, but the telephone networks are overloaded. Okay. We'll find him.
Do we know exactly which cities were hit, or?
Megan. We will find him.
Mike. god. And that's the end of it for now. Wow! Holy... Wow. That escalated so fast. Just wow. I have absolutely no words. That was just insane. Aside of how hectic it was, this was really fun to play. And I am so hooked to see more of the story. I cannot wait for there to be the next one. I want more.
This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex. And we need your help.
We're so proud to be here today on this, the 500-day anniversary of the...
It's time to choose. Alex, whose side are you on?
After all, doesn't your family deserve a good, nutritious meal in these difficult times?
But before we go, one final thought.
Jeremy?
Wow. Just wow. I'm blown away. That was phenomenal.
And I'm Den. Jay, we said Zoom backgrounds.
Oh, sorry, boys. We're the developers of Not for Broadcast, and we want to thank you so much for supporting our little game so far.
We're now 2/3 of the way through the story.
But as we film this in January 2021, the UK is back in lockdown.
We don't know when we'll next be able to film with a full cast and crew.
So once again, we have to ask you to please be patient with us.
And if you want to talk to us in the meantime,
come chat with us on Discord at discord.gg/notforbroadcast.
We stream on Twitch every first and third Thursday of the month at twitch.tv/NotGamesUK. We always check the Steam forums for any suggestions or problems you may have.
And we read every Steam review, even the horrible ones, because your opinion matters to us.
So all that remains to say is thank you so much for playing our weird little game.
And
see you in episode 3. Probably, if I have come up with a cure by then, I will let you know. Last time it didn't go so well for me.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes.
Wow.
Main headlines tonight.
Just... I didn't do too bad. Language unsuitable for children, interference-free show, exceedingly poor ad, yeah. Played one ad virtually, yeah, I know that. Disrupt ruined the broadcast, I do not care. Well...
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes.
Wow.
Our main headlines tonight.
That was really, really cool though. And so, with that said, we're finishing this off with waiting whoever we'll see. Let's see. Milky and Nug both. Let's go wait Milky.
A very blunt question.
Let's go say hi to Milky. Milky is an amazing Escape from Tarkov streamer. He is actually disabled. Like, he's a disabled army veteran. And he literally plays with his mouth. And it's mind-blowing to watch. So go show him all the love. And I will see you all again on Tuesday. Until then, have a good night, evening, morning, day, whatever. And I hope you all stay safe. Until then, bye-bye.
Are you saying that